Hello and welcome back to what I wished I'd known about self-publishing before I got started, or its variations thereof. I am Karlie with Dragon Key Press, and today I am going to try and walk you through setting up a paperback version of a book through IngramSpark. And I'm sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. She insisted on being in the room. Okay, this is your dashboard for your account if you've already got an account. If you don't have an account yet, I would suggest going ahead and setting up one now. It's pretty self-explanatory, pretty straightforward. I would suggest having your Boker account with my identifiers and all that set up first so that you can say, hey, I have my own imprint and things like that. But if you don't, it's okay. There are means and ways around that. Okay, here you've got your home, titles, reports, orders, marketing, tools and resources, and your help center, but they also have the quick links down here. So we're going to add a title. Now it's going to give you the option of doing a print and ebook as a bundle type thing where you can just do both at the same time. You can do the print book only or the ebook only, and as you notice, it has a price for each one. But if you don't have that money right now, there are occasional coupons that actually are sent out. I currently have one, and I just want to do ebook right now because I don't have, print only right now because I don't have an ebook type that I decided on for the book that I want to do. I am going to say all my files are ready, even though I don't have my cover completely finished. I don't have the back and the spine put together, but, that's a different video. Because if you say, hey, I want to see additional options, it will send you to their creator thing, and it's kind of glitchy right now. And I don't need to be stuck in limbo with you guys. So we're going to say, yes, I have my cover ready, my interior ready, etc., etc., etc. And if it doesn't like my format for the cover that I'm going to pretend I have, it will actually help me get it figured out. But if you want, you can look at their file creation guide, which will give you all of the information you need on how to format it properly, if you don't already. I would like to distribute in different formats. You can print, distribute, and sell your book, or print only. This is kind of something they didn't have previously, so if you decide you like to sell your title via IngramSpark's distribution channels or only print personal copies for yourself, apparently they made that distinction. So if you only want to print it yourself, click that one. But if you want it to be able to be distributed online through different websites like Barnes & Noble, Amazon, etc., click this first one with the little globe. Otherwise, you're only going to be able to print them and sell them in person. And I don't want to do that because I'm lazy. Actually, no, I'm not lazy. It's just a lot of work to do it that way. Okay, now we're going to set up our book. And it'll want your title, it'll want your language, and your ISBN, which I happen to have right here ready to go. So I'm going to basically just copy and paste it in. It will say, hey, if you don't have an ISBN, you can get a free one from IngramSpark, which means they're the imprint of record, or you can buy your own from Boker, which it recommends. But if you don't have the money, you can go to the second one. And like KDP, it will say, hey, do you own all the rights to your work? And it actually has a checklist to go through. Does it include someone's name, the names of famous company or famous brands without a license from the owner? Do you include trademarks, pictures, or name of famous brands, toys, games, or companies without a license or the owner's permission? Do you include pictures copied and pasted from the web or any other place without a license or the owner's permission? Do you include the work of someone other than yourself without a license or the owner's permission? Or do you include misleading cover images or information that may cause someone to buy the title thinking it is something else? If you answer yes to any of those, then yeah, you're in trouble. My title does not include any of those, so I'm good to go. I can say, yay, I own all the rights. And again, with like KDP, it will ask if this is from a copyright or a public domain non-copyrighted info, like Pride and Prejudice falls out of copyright and into the public domain. Various works where their copyright has expired, public domain. So you have to actually say, yeah, I got this from public domain. Otherwise, you're good. If you want to show more fields for optimization, that adds your subtitle, a series name if it's in a series, the number of the book in the series, an edition name, edition number, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But you do need to include contributors, and in this case, I'm putting myself as the author, and you can add in more information on that kind of thing too. The biography, prior works, affiliations if you want. You don't have to. I'm also going to add myself as the illustrator. See, there's a crap ton of different things you can actually add in there as contributor, but I'm going to add myself as the illustrator because I'm also the illustrator of the book that I am currently doing. Now you see it's already got my imprint right here. It kind of actually has that preloaded since I have my imprint in my information when I set up the account. If you have different ones that you've set up, it will give you the option to pull down, but just make sure the ISBN number that you're using is actually linked to that particular imprint. Now we're going to look at our subjects. This is basically your categories. It's similar to the BizSac and those kinds of things that you will see in libraries or at Amazon or things like that. Mine is juvenile fiction, so I'm going to pull down tab there. We have animals in general because moving the zoo, and I believe you can actually up to 3 subjects, unlike with KDP setup it's only 2. So we're actually going to keep scrolling down and say, what else do we have that this fits into? Mine also kind of fits into the imagination category if I can find it. Sometimes they don't have those kinds of things, so you kind of just have to look through and see what all it will kind of fit in. I'm going to say it can also be general. Trying to see if there's anything else that I can kind of fit it in, just to give me a better chance of being found. So I'm not seeing anything else that I can really kind of grab as something to add to it. But you can see there are a lot of categories here. Fiction, historical, etc., holidays, horror. I don't know why kids would do horror, but whatever. Interactive, legends, fables, so forth, etc. But lots of things that you can kind of add into that. And I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything that I can potentially use as a third category. And if I can't find anything, then, that's fine too. But there are, as you can see, a lot of different things you can actually kind of put in there. So I'm just going to say, that's good, I'm done with that, add my subjects. Then it's going to ask you to choose your audience. I'm going for juvenile because it's for kids. You can put in your age range. Honestly, I think mine can go from anywhere to whatever. Put in your grade range. I'm saying anything to whatever because it should be. Then it gives you an option to add more things if you need to. A regional subject, thematic subjects, table of contents if you're actually anything like that. But I don't have to worry about that. Okay, this is your title description, aka your blurb. So I'm going to come and just copy and paste because it's best to keep your things consistent. And now we're going to go for keywords. If you don't know what to think about keywords, you can have up to 500 characters here, and it wants you separating them by semicolon. Some of them want you to actually do it with just a regular colon, but they want semicolons, so we're going to do it like that. So for me, my keywords are going to be zoo, moving, imagination, pretend, sounds, colors, children. I can even add diversity in there if I really wanted. All of these fun little keywords that you can actually add to help people find your book that much easier. Then you can show more if you want to have, a shorter description than what previously. It's not necessary here. Then you're going to continue on into the process. All right, this is where you're actually going to put your trim size. As you can see, there are a lot of different trim sizes you can choose from. Mine is an 8x10, and I'm going to be using color because it's an illustrated book. You can choose at this point whether you want premium color, standard color, on a 70-pound white paper or a 50-pound white paper. That's the quality of the paper. So I'm going to go middle on this one. And then it'll have you choose whether you're a paperback or hardbound. My ISBN I'm using is for a paperback. And it only offers perfect bound as its binding type. I prefer gloss for my kids' books because it makes them shiny and bright. And make sure that it says exactly what you want. Do you have any additional book information? Duplex enabled, means you can print on the inside cover of your paperback book. I'm not worried about that myself. And my page count is 40 pages, all said and done, which it will tell you exactly how much it'll cost to print right there. And then you can actually say, hey, this is how much my book is going to cost in the United States. And then it'll kind of auto-congregate or whatever to kind of make it equivalent price and everything else. How much compensation. It is recommended that you do allow for wholesale distribution. You can say, yes, I allow the title to be returned if people don't like it. Just note that you might get charged a fee for that. I'm going to say, yes, destroy, because that makes it a little more marketable. But if it's, some of these, I'm going to just say no, because it makes it a lot more pricey to send it back. I'm just going to say the traditional retailer discount is what they get. This is how much you will make off of the price. So if it's different, you might need to kind of look and adjust price accordingly. Canada, for some reason, is really weird. But just so you know about that. Here it's going to ask me if I select destroy, the return option means copies of the title can be returned to Ingram, and I will not receive a physical copy of what they are returning to the retailer. I understand that if I select no return option for U.S. markets, it means U.S. retailers cannot return copies of the book to Ingram. And then it asks you to click I accept all prices above and understand that the automatic currency conversion reflects the pricing I entered today, but will not automatically update as the value of each currency type changes outside of my account. So you will need to occasionally come back and adjust those prices as they change. And with current things going the way they are, you might need to do that more often than you would probably like. Here you can actually say, for the marketing purposes, if you want to enable them to take a sneak peek, look inside of your book. If the text is a large text edition, a right-to-left content, which is more Japanese type as opposed to the traditional left-to-right that you will find in American or similar. And it's going to ask you to add a publication date. I'm going to set it as 31st. And again, it says, hey, got more things if I want to add more there. So I'm just going to keep on going with what I've got right now. Now this is where you're actually going to upload your book details. So I've got mine right here. It does not like Microsoft Word. You will need a PDF version of your book. So it will upload that and make it happy. I don't actually have the cover that I want yet, but I'm going to kind of pretend that I have something. It's not the cover I'm going to use, but it will tell me it's not later. So we got it uploaded. We're going to say continue, and it's going to validate the information in the books. Sometimes this takes a little bit. My title has no errors in it, which is great. And now it's going to validate contents files, and it is probably going to scream at me for the cover because it's not properly formatted for cover, since I want to have it specifically put to what they want it to be, especially if I decide to do a hardcover, because the sizing requirements will be a little different. So here it's telling me things I need to fix. Apparently my fonts are not embedded in the PDF, so I will need to go back and finish this and fix these kind of things. And it will let you know these kind of details that you need to do that. So I will have to correct and upload new files. But once you've got that all set and sorted, you'll actually have the option to say, I'm done, publish the book, and life is good. If you have other things it needs to fix, then it will kind of go over that. But before you actually hit that publish button, it will give you the option to look at your proof to make sure it looks the way you want it to look. And it usually will send you an email of a digital proof. You can do a physical proof. It's going to take a lot longer. So just kind of keep that in mind. But since I forgot to embed my fonts, I can't go any further without fixing that. So I might be able to follow up with that later, but since this video is already pretty long, I'm going to go ahead and end things here and do a follow-up of this later. So I hope you learned something that is helpful, something that is useful. Feel free to drop a comment or send questions, etc. And we'll just kind of follow up with this again later once I've actually fixed my little errors there, because I totally forgot about embedding. But we'll get there. I'm Karlie with Dragon Key Press, and I hope to see you next time.